All right, everybody. I am Andrew Badalla. That is Jordan Carter. That is Juice Springsteen. We are live for No Dirt, Just Dialogue. It is an AEW Revolution weekend. We have one of our members heading down there or over there or wherever you're from. It'll be here, there, and everywhere. That is one Jordan Carter. He will be live on site at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California. Stone Cold Steve Austin likes to call Los Angeles for a loaded AEW pay-per-view. They're never not loaded, but this one's got 13 matches on it already, including pre-show, and it seems like we're probably going to get one more. They could cut a couple if it was for me, but it's not just for me. It's for everybody. So we'll preview that. We'll discuss some of the things we saw, some Danhausen talk, some frustration over graphics. Go figure. Remember how somebody put out a tweet and he was ridiculed and said, what, have you never been to Vegas? Yeah, I've been to Vegas. I know about casinos, cards, strip clubs, whatever you want to roll.
Because that's what they're gonna put strip clubs on the poster.
I mean, at this point, you might as well, because the wasteland, apocalyptic, futuristic, your sister's ass. I don't know which way they're going. Anyways, it's just graphics. It's not that big of a deal. But next time, just don't come for my throat unless you're going to come with something correct. And a lot of people did. They said, hey, this is kind of like a Vegas wasteland. We'll get into all that. A Saturday night's main event has been announced for Indiana, I believe. Is that correct?
Yep. Fort Wayne, Indiana, at the
Fort Wayne,
Coliseum.
Indiana. The same weekend as AEW Double or Nothing. It's not East Coast, so competitive, but not really competing. Before we get into all this, Juice, Jordan, one at a time. How we doing today, boys?
We're doing good. I'm looking forward to potentially having to call off Monday because of how long AEW Revolution will be on Sunday night. But AEW kills it on pay-per-view. So
employer does not see this because I am not condoning any of that.
No. But I'll be up for it. Look, I've said it. It's been on record. I could not tell you one AEW pay-per-view that hasn't kept me interested pretty much the whole way through. Whether you like the outcomes or not, it's just they always know what they're doing on pay-per-view, which is great to know considering they've had this gap since December without a pay-per-view, and yet their TV has still remained strong. So I'm looking forward to this one on pay-per-view.
Yeah. AEW's television has had some really good weeks here leading up to Revolution. We'll get into that. I thought the presser was kind of a miss, but everyone's lock, stock, and barrel on MJF and Hanger in the Texas death. Jordan, what's going on with you, my man?
I'm good. Really quickly, I want to say welcome back to Andrew's beard. It's nice to see Andrew's beard back. No, I'm good, man. I'm gearing up for a flight tomorrow to LA, my first time ever. I got to be honest with you, just personal little moment here. I've always wanted to do the whole travel to go to a show. I've only gone to shows that have been locally. You know,
really?
I've never really traveled. Yeah, I've never really traveled to go to a show like that. No, don't get me wrong. I've been allotted to go to some pretty great shows here. But this is my first time ever going to a show. So very excited, very happy to do it. If you see me, say hello. Yeah, I'm getting ready for
I'll say this, Jordan, like traveling anywhere is fun, but when you travel somewhere for wrestling, it's a whole nother ball game because like you start seeing other people that are there specifically for that same event, and you get this vibe and the energy and the day of. It's gonna feel electric, and it's gonna be exciting. In LA, it's bright lights, big city, and Revolution.
I'm looking to find
the ladies. Come on, Rick.
I'm looking to find the where the that mural is at. That I don't know if Tony commissioned it himself.
Oh, the one on the side of the 7-Eleven.
Yeah. I'm thinking my buddy's gonna be able to
That's
find
in Burbank.
that. So.
You could find it, I'm sure.
It's in Burbank. Okay, cool. So then, yeah,
I don't know. Look up the exact location. You'll be able to find
California is a small state. I'm sure you'll.
Oh yeah, no problem.
no big. Yeah, I can find it.
I thought Juice was going to talk about the times he's traveled with me, and he was like, traveling for wrestling's fun unless you travel with Drew, because Blake said the same thing, and then it's like, you're spending a boatload of money, staying up all night. No, I'm only kidding. Listen, he's right. Though.
You stayed up longer than me, pal. You were gallivanting. You were having a great time. So brother, it's always good with Drew.
I can't wait for Mania.
You'll be on site in Las Vegas. Traveling for wrestling is fun, though. Truthfully, especially I think Juice put it very well. If you're going with people or you're meeting people out there or whatever else, it's kind of like one common destination. It's like traveling to go watch an away game for a sports team that you like.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Yeah.
Let's get into last night's AEW Dynamite. Then we'll do predictions for Revolution. Then we'll jump into some news. Last night's Dynamite I thought was good. I put that on my quick review. The triple threat, the trios match.
Here we go.
I'm gonna start right there.
Andrew hates trios matches. He wants the belts gone.
I've got a buddy of mine that he needs to meet. Then
I don't hate the trios. I just want to make that very clear. I don't hate anybody or anything. What I take that back.
You said the titles could go away last week. So
yeah, they could. That doesn't mean I hate them. But close. I'll say this. Speedball Mike Bailey and Kyle Fletcher had a great match on Dynamite. I mean, there's very few and far in between that happens in between those ropes in AEW that isn't good, but this exceeded expectations. Could AEW use some more prolonged stories and storylines? Sure, but the wrestling is always top notch. But this just showed me that the fans were behind it. The internet reception was nuts. Strike while the iron's hot. They're going to wait till whenever, if they do have a match. I see a lot of people saying they're going to wait till Vancouver to have a singles match and a rematch, whether it's a cage or a stipulation. Strike while the iron's hot. I can tell you this right now. Nobody cares. I shouldn't say nobody. Some people care about a trios match with Mystico and Kazuchika Okada and Speedball and Kevin Knight and Kyle Fletcher. But for me, and I'm saying this as from my opinion, wrestling is subjective, give Kazuchika Okada a singles match against Kevin Knight. He'll probably tear the house down, okay? Because when Okada wants to go, my man, can he go, okay? And you already saw what Speedball and Kyle Fletcher could do. So why not make it a cage or something? And Mystico, Mark Davis, I said this last night. I'm sorry, you figure something else out for them. But
here's my thing. The trios titles as a whole, so I'm kind of, I guess, with your argument, have been kind of snake bit with certain things happening where people have been forced into being champions, or like some are champions and they have to go somewhere else, and then you have to figure out plans for said titles. So all that being said, I could care less about this match necessarily in ring and what the
trios match, right?
Yes, but I can see where those matches you brought up of like Okada maybe versus Kevin Knight and Speedball versus Fletcher being created out of this match.
He was right there with you. You're right.
Wrestle Dream.
And you're right. The whole thing going to Dynasty, I could see it where it's like, all right, we're gonna have
Dynasty rather. Yeah, sorry.
We're gonna have this triple. I knew what you meant. We're gonna have this match at Revolution, which could set up some singles matches, one for a championship, maybe even whatever, maybe two. I don't know. At Dynasty, 2 singles matches. But for me, the iron's hot, and I'm a strike. That's just me. I think
the iron can be hot for a month.
You think if they wait a month, brother, that people are going to still care about a rematch between Speedball and...
I think if you let this match happen and you have those interactions happen in a strong way, and then you actually acknowledge it on Dynamite and set up a match, yes, I do.
Blake Mitchmore is completely unhinged in the comments, by the way. Completely unhinged.
I was about to say,
unhinged all the time.
Blake
God,
knows,
he's out of his mind.
Bar type I'm expecting.
Blake knows that, first of all, I pay for almost everything. I mess around with people a couple times and I'll be like, you got this, bar tab. I joke around. And then the other thing here is that he wants to have Speedball do something that I'm not going to say on air. Anyways, Jordan, Juice makes good points, and I thought about that myself before I made my video. They could be setting up singles matches here at Revolution, but I just think it's a month too late. And then people are going to say, well, Speedball's from Canada. I don't care if he's from Timbuktu. I don't.
I think that I think this is one of those situations where we start to read the tea leaves. I think it's very timely that we have seen Speedball and Kevin Knight wrestle more singles matches. I think it's also timely that it comes out that Kevin Knight said something about him and Speedball not being on the same page. I think it's also timely that Swerve had a little interaction with Kevin Knight.
All right. Hold on. Now, me and you have had this discussion privately.
Yeah. No. I do not like that idea.
I don't need Swerve and Kevin Knight together. I just don't need it.
No.
If Kevin Knight is getting out of this tag team or whatever, or faction, I want him out of everything.
Let him be on his own, because I think AEW right now suffers from like too many groups, too many factions. We
got
don't
99
really have
championships, the trios, the duos, the four-way.
but you don't have too many people who like stand on their own. Like even Hangman has affiliations, right? So I wouldn't want that at all. I would like that. I like that Swerve right now is kind of the one man who, if Swerve get in trouble, he don't have a lot of friends to call. You know, he stands on his own. I kind of like that. I enjoy that. But
you want to touch on this real quick? Are you sitting next to Dave Meltzer?
And I flew back just in time for this show.
That's that private jet that Final Bell Media sent. That's how you know you made it.
Right, baby.
Jordan, Jordan, I'm with you and Juice. I get it. They could set up a bunch of different things, and this could be the culmination of, all right, we are officially, breaking up Jet Speed. I get it.
That's
cool, great, grand, wonderful. If that happens, then you want to know what? All right. I mean, listen, it's professional wrestling. It's weekly episodic television and storylines. If this takes a little bit more to get to, fine. I just really dug what I saw last night from those two gentlemen, and I believe the iron is literally scorching hot. So let's capitalize. Give me a cage. And realistically, here's the other thing too. Do you need a month of storyline between Speedball and Kyle Fletcher? You got the reasoning last night why Speedball would want a rematch. I mean, Okada gets involved, the hubbub and hobbob. I mean, come on, we got it right there. I mean, realistically. And Mystico being involved in this, you could fucking miss me with that. I like Mystico. No,
miss you with Mystico.
Right,
something
but I mean,
we talked about last week was this is where the trios titles would really benefit from a free bird rule, because now you can kind of get them. So Kyle Fletcher doesn't have that burden, and we can just do this match. We don't have to kind of go through this rigmarole of now this is Speedball's second kind of replacement partner. Because like if Hangman didn't fit, Mystico definitely don't fit, right? With the aesthetic, all that, whatever, what have you.
Yeah.
So if we were to have a free bird rule with this, we wouldn't have to do all of this just to get back to this rematch of these two guys. Like, that's just me. Because the path is clear. Canada is going to have a single Speedball match. I think that's
okay.
Clear.
I mean, okay, maybe we'll see. And I'm okay with that. Speedball is going to have a singles match. It seems like Kenny's going to have a match against probably Swerve, which is fine. Two Canadian stars having Canadian matches. I mean, they're not from Vancouver. So, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think we need to circulate our booking around.
I don't think.
Where people are from.
That'll be the problem.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily doing the booking. It's just the matches are going to happen. And this is where they're going to end up.
1997 with Bret Hart and the Americans. It's just not.
It is 1997 in the sense that there are so many factions, though.
Right. Oh well, okay. The Hart Foundation, DX. I mean, you're.
Yep.
You're right there,
DOA, right?
DOA.
And your sister.
The Bariquas, yes.
Yeah.
That is a killer theme song.
They did. You know how bad the Undertaker wanted to be in the DOA, and they're just like, he can't, bro. Can't just.
He's too big for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it is what it is. But I thought Dynamite was good, minus the press conference, which I'll get into at the end. The other thing here with Dynamite for me, I praised Moxley up and down for everything he's done for AEW, for everything he continues to do for AEW, and I say it very, professional as I can on my quick reviews. I like Mox, and I like that he has a purpose. He used to, I should say, on some of these shows. Now it just feels like Moxley's coming out, and Moxley, he's your horse, one of your horses. I get it. He should be on television, but give him something meaningful. And it doesn't need to be every week. If we saw, granted, this different time in the Attitude Era, but we did see Rock and Austin every week because they were going head to head with WCW. When things started to slow down, you got a brand split, right? So then things changed. But even then, you didn't see those superstars every week, or they didn't have a match every week, or this or that. Moxley could be best served every other week. I don't need him in a 20-minute opener every single week. I don't. I know he's one of our horses.
You brought that up.
I know he's one of the AEW horses, and he's. I get it. He's got to be a point of the show, focal point here, there, and everywhere. But it's almost like too much. And I don't know if it's good for Mox, truthfully. Go ahead.
I don't know if it's good for the product or the rest of the talent, because I don't know if you guys saw Johnny Elite, Johnny ROH, Johnny TV, Johnny Morrison,
Johnny Bald
just recently had an interview, had a quote, a statement that stood out to me that kind of correlates to what you're saying. And I'll get
the island thing.
Yes. Not only that, and how he feels underutilized. And when you think about it, about this, I don't want to say Tony Khan Island, because that's going to lead to things.
With all due respect, I'm going to say the quote, and then John Morris, or John, whatever we're calling him, Johnny Nitro, Johnny ROH. John Hennigan said that there's an island of wrestlers that are on TV all the time or whatever. And then there's the people who are the outcasts, who are not on TV and whatever else. And with all due respect to John Moxley and John Hennigan, I'm not saying, or whatever we're calling, whatever John's name is, John Nitro, Johnny, and whatever.
Johnny No TV.
Yeah, they're in two different stratospheres. Yeah, they're in two different stratospheres.
They are, but like, okay, so which one is it? They're in different stratospheres, but then you also don't need Mox opening matches every week.
Sure, but there's a healthy medium. But I think what Drew was getting at is like there's a way to somebody else, maybe with a little bit more cachet, that's been on AEW TV more than once every
right
3 months.
Message, wrong message.
Could say the same thing, and I could kind of get behind that. But John Morrison or whatever, that's tough for me to really rally behind. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's not that I won't rally behind. I don't think that John Morrison's words don't have merit. They do. I mean, if you look at some things
specifically, but
yeah, there's a lot of similarities in these Dynamite cards. The same guys and girls are on it, but they're your horses. I get it, but at some point we got to start strapping a little bit to some other people so that they can get over on television and they can get equity. Now, if there's a big log jam here where it's just the same guys and girls over and over again, then those are the only people that are going to have any sort of value in the company. And then these other talents are meaningless. You might as well just cut them all. And I don't mean that from a nasty perspective. I mean that from a business perspective. If you're not going to utilize these guys and girls, they're going to sit there and they're going to work meaningless matches on Collision or other tapings or whatever that don't have any storyline purposes, then get off. Here, I'll use an example. And to Juice's point, what I said about Moxley is Moxley has more equity and more visibility and more marketability. And that's what I look for in professional wrestling than John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, whatever we're calling him. The two wrestlers are extremely talented, both of them. Okay. I'm not sitting here saying one is more talented than the other, but if you go look, I mean, let's use, how about who's gotten a lot of time more recently, Jack Perry. Jack Perry's not on television weekly. Let's look. Okada's really not. He hadn't been on television weekly except for now. Who else could we use here? I'm looking at the roster.
Well, to be fair, and to that point, although he could be, I guess, in the Battle Royal on the 0 hour, but Jack Perry's not even on this pay-per-view, yet he's had more TV time than a John Morrison.
Okay, and here's another one for me. Ready? What you just brought up, this Battle Royal. You're going to put 21 guys in it. More than 50% of the guys that are going to be in this, more than likely, we haven't seen on television week after week. So is anybody going to give a shit?
Yeah, you know who's going to be on there.
When Butcher and the Blade come out, when Butcher and the Blade come out, no one's going to care, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I say unfortunately for a reason. Because no, these guys should be like, you have enough programming time to be able to do this. Now, there's something you and I've talked about. I personally think they need another 30 minutes. That's a whole different gambit. You have enough time, you have enough talent to rotate to where you don't have to have the same guys and gals. That's just me personally. Like I don't think that, yes, we don't need a Mox match every week, and I'm not saying replace it with the John Hennigan match, but I sure would like
Tony Storm. Sure. What happened to, or Bendito in matches? What happened to Tony Storm? I mean, I know she's on Collision every once in a while. What happened to Megan Bain? Where are these people? I know they're on Collision, but I mean, these were Dynamite mainstays. And now there's
also only so much time on Dynamite, to Jordan's point. And I mean, you say they're on Collision as if it's nothing. Collision has been built up as something, and they're trying to solidify it as a, valid second, not brand, but second show to build up people that might not get the Dynamite.
And I will give Tony Khan and AEW credit. They really have put some matches on Collision that have made people stop and be like, all right, I got to maybe tune into this, or I'll watch it on Sunday. We have record it, whatever, DVR it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I get that. And maybe eventually you build enough equity and you create a brand split if that's what they want to do, which would lead to more championships. So I don't know.
I don't want to see a brand split in AEW because they did that already when Collision first debuted, and it was cool for the first month. Like, no, I'm not going to. I'm a Collider. I only go in Collision.
The main person on Collision ended up leaving the company that the show was created for. So I digress.
It's created for, but it's still around now. So it seems like Tony had a vision longer than who it was created for.
Brother, listen,
I'm just saying
the show is no dirt, just dialogue. So I'll give you some dialogue. They created the goddamn show because people weren't getting along.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is they kept it going regardless.
But WBD was like, you're going to give us more original content weekly? I'm here for it.
A certain Chicagoan who is in relation to one of the topics we'll be talking about soon. That's the whole reason why that show exists.
All right, let's get into Swerve and Brody. I don't hate this at all. I just wonder if this is going to become a dog collar match or some sort of stipulation.
Which I suggested.
I think it's too late for if they would have announced the dog collar, they would have done it last night.
And even that would have been almost too late, but better late than never.
And then, unfortunately, because how the internet is, and I'm pretty sure Collision was pre-taped, we would have been spoiled with it by now as well. The announcement. So, I don't think that we're gonna. I think it'll be a brutal. I think it leaves a window open for that possible jet flying in from Japan with Kenny Omega on it, for him to come in, and maybe Swerve is going to do something super dastardly, because if you ask me, I think Brody King deserves some time off. So I think this match will be a written time off match for Brody. I think Brody will.
Jordan loves these written time off. He did that with Kenny, and now he's doing it. Brody,
you get time off. You get time off.
Jordan, I think we should beat down Andrew, and then he can have some time off.
You guys would love that.
I believe in cooling down and warming guys back up, because where Brody King can chill for the next 2 weeks because he's been doing a good job, and I believe, just take the next
there's people in AEW who's in the freezer. They got freezer burn on them, and you want to cool this guy down?
But I think that's what it goes back to what we were just saying. Like, that's the problem, though, right? And so, like, I think you should have storylines where, like, you can kind of take, because here's the thing: Brody King is now in the main event picture. Are you really going to ever put the title on him?
maybe, but I'm not with you because you want to give him a couple weeks off.
I mean,
he'll never get the title if he takes a vacation.
You can tell how I am as a father too. My kid's like, I don't feel. I'm like, get your ass to school.
I think though, regardless, I think that this match will hopefully lead to, like I said, like Swerve doing something super dastardly and Kenny comes in for the save.
Minus the ridiculousness, in my opinion, of you saying that we need to give Brody King some time off. I think Kenny Omega could save Brody King from getting completely choked out by Swerve. I think that might be something they do. I like
Brody
that.
should take time off and then be replaced by Johnny TV. Johnny Elite.
Make it work. Like he's entertaining. You know, you got the next Joe Hendry on your hands.
I mean, I've wanted Julia Hart to get heated back up. She hasn't been. I mean, she's still in the freezer. So I mean, there's just so many people right now that are just ice cold in AEW.
There's got to be a way. All I'm saying is there's got to be a way, you know, to heat some of these guys.
You know how you can heat people up is by not having so many damn people to heat in the first place. Maybe the bloated roster is a problem with that.
All right, I have some people DMing me on Twitter or X, and I have some comments here on X as well, wanting me to touch on this Live Nation stuff that's going around, which is Ticketmaster, Live Nation. They're basically all in one. AEW has done very well with their ticket sales for Revolution. That's done through AXS, which is a completely separate entity. But they want me to talk about how Live Nation and Ticketmaster were caught. Some employees, executives were calling customers stupid, price gouging them, and basically saying they'll pay whatever we deem appropriate. They're dumb. And in regards to consumers. What I will say about this is that's truly what they do believe. It's just the truth. And it's not just Live Nation and Ticketmaster. I think our economy right now is what will they pay and how much are they willing to pay? And then we'll set prices accordingly. Again, you have to understand that AEW and even WWE TKO, these are just facilitators of tickets. They're not, WWE doesn't sit there and say, yes, you should charge $300 for service fees. No, they'll price scale, and then Ticketmaster uses them, or they use Ticketmaster and facilitates their ticket. You can't just TKO and WWE and UFC are definitely guilty of price gouging at times.
No,
right,
not the UFC,
right? But this is a little different. So I mean, that's as quickly as I'm going to touch on this. And listen, I'll even tell you, $500 for AEW Revolution to sit in the second or third row, I think is far too much money.
Let me ask you guys something.
Price scaling needs to be better, and those in charge know better. Go ahead.
A wrestling event, let's say a wrestling event with all of your personal dream matches. These are all filled with matches that you absolutely love. Let's say there's 5 of them, right? I think
five exact same Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels Iron Man matches in a row, baby.
Are these guys and girls in their prime, or we're talking current day?
Whatever your 5 great matches that you would think, right? And let's just say not front row, but a good row seat. What's the max you're willing to pay personally?
Well, first of all, I've seen a lot of the people that I want to see, and some of the I'll give you an example. What was the match? When CM Punk and Austin were rumored to have this match at Mania, I think it was what was it, Mania 30 something?
I would say same realm as Taker and Sting when that was kind of built up.
Yeah, that was 27.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So those types of things, I think people would pay.
I was sitting back and I was like, it really depends. I mean, I don't know. I'll give you a better example. If the Mets were playing a Game 7 World Series and somebody was like, hey, it's going to run you about $3,000.
Notice how he didn't say the Jets.
Wow. I mean,
he's realistic now.
Somebody
was making the series.
Game 7 of the World Series, it's winner take all. The Mets are in it. They haven't won one since '86. I'm probably paying about $3,000 to $4,000 to sit in good seats. So I would equate. I don't know. It's just it's It's a lot of money,
the
dude.
thing,
It
that,
really
like,
is.
It's tough to gauge that with a
and that's
hypothetical.
why I say that to say that's why Ticketmaster and such will do what they do, because
Sure.
you're always going to be like, oh, well, I do want to see this event, you know.
So I think there's a difference here. I think WWE was very good from, I would say, to like WrestleMania 21 all the way through WrestleMania 40, 41, programming people and the fans to be like, I got to be at WrestleMania. It's going to be the biggest event of the year. And WWE was smart enough to price the tickets for everyone. The price scaling was very, very good to where everybody who wanted to go or had a different price in mind, a budget, could go. Those who wanted to spend the $20,000 to $30,000 as they got more and more expensive to sit for, had that experience, and it's like a crackhead. You get a little bit of that, and you got to have more. So you're an addict for the front row, and it's the only way you want to see wrestling anymore. And I understand the marketization and the capitalization on that specific demo. But what I think has been lost in translation now is exactly what the wrestling fandom and the wrestling, like the economics behind it, the consumer is not overly wealthy. They're not. The mass consumers of professional wrestling are not overly wealthy in terms of live events, going to things, spending money on tickets. And when you start pricing out your blue collar workers and your families and everything else like that, this is why you're seeing them have to slash prices weeks before the events, because people are like, I am not paying this stupid shit. And I get it. I'm going to put it at a high price. I'm going to capture as many of those people as I can. And then I'll chop. But you know what you're doing? Everybody's waiting now. And now you're seeing all this panic in business in terms of front office and in terms of behind the scenes, where they're like, we only have 30,000 seats sold for WrestleMania and it holds 70,000. We're 5 weeks out. What are we going to do? We'll slash prices. No, announce more matches and make them affordable out the gate.
Can I ask you this, though, Drew?
Sure.
I do find that it's two different factors at play, because I remember, like, the last Mania I had gone to before 40 was 35, the last one before the pandemic, the last one night WrestleMania.
MetLife. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think that the pandemic plus the addition of 2 nights kind of threw things for a whirl? Because even 40, even though it was, quote, affordable, it still was pretty damn expensive for both nights. And I think that ever since they got fans back, they're like, well, fans are going to, the demand's going to be there because they didn't have this for a year, but they've kept it because business has been so well. But now, you know,
very well said, Juice. Very well said. I think the most affordable WrestleMania I ever went to was WrestleMania 37. The second most affordable WrestleMania I ever went to is WrestleMania 38, because 37 was a limited quantity of people who could go, but it also was the whole thing about 2020. People value their money now more than ever. I'm not sitting here saying they don't spend it, but the way they spend it and the way they liquidate, or the way that they validate how they want to spend their money, has completely changed since 2020, because people started to panic buy, whether it was food, water, whatever. Everybody was in a state of panic. So now everybody has that in the back of their head for the most part, that if this shit happens again, I got to have some reserve money, or reserve this or reserve that, so they don't overspend. And the economy is different. It's 100% right. The 2 nights, you got people figuring out whether or not they could afford to go to both Saturday and Sunday. You know, I took my son to SummerSlam night 1 because I got him good seats, but I wasn't doing it 2 nights in a row. It was just, we had flown out there. I'd ran an event with Tailgate Joe and AJ Francis and Matt Cardona. We went to Saturday night. He saw Seth return. He saw Gunther and Punk. And I said to him, listen, we have an early flight on Monday. We'll watch the show from home, the John Cena match. And he was distraught. He wanted to go see Cody. But you got to make those decisions. And as a father, could I have afforded to take him? Absolutely. But sometimes you just don't want to spend 10 grand on 2 nights of wrestling.
Boy, I hate having that dilemma. Jordan, do you think we should spend 10 grand this weekend or not?
It's
not that I have that dilemma. It's like, you know, you try and provide. Listen, your father, God rest his soul, Jordan, wanted to do the best for their kids, I'm sure, and they wanted to give you guys a better life. So my father was very good at taking me to different things, but there was a budget. We're not sitting ringside. We're not sitting in the front row. We're not doing things. So when I got to be a father, I wanted to give the things that my kid or kids that I didn't have. But at some point, you got to sit back and be like, this is a little bit too much. We flew to an event. I mean, you know, hey, Jackson, He knows it. I love you, but that's not normal. It's not. Go ahead.
Yeah, you gotta pick and choose where you go. I mean, the last Mania I went to, which was the first one after COVID, was the Philly one, and primarily it was because I had a place to stay and it was drivable. So I cut out 2/3 of the major expenses and just had to pay for the ticket, and that was affordable for me to do both nights. Everybody's like, "Let's fly to Vegas. Let's get a place of it." It's the most expensive place to go 2 years in a row, and then next year is not in the domestic, United States or even North America. So people are probably panicking for that too, because who knows where the following WrestleMania will be.
And that's what I said to a lot of people. I said, if WWE, like, it's just so easy to sell this WrestleMania. It's easy to sell every year, truthfully. WrestleMania, the name sells itself. But this year especially, I don't know a lot of people are going to go to Saudi Arabia, and it's not because they don't want to be in Saudi Arabia. It's a 16-hour flight. Yeah. I mean, there and back is a full day. Plus, right. I mean, so it's just like you could have easily sold this, make it more affordable. The other reason I took Jackson to SummerSlam because I wanted to test him to see if he could stay for a night and then want to go back another night because it's coming here this year. There's multiple reasons.
That's right.
The biggest thing is money, man. People just don't want to overspend. They don't, and I don't blame them. People should leave the way that they leave an event, and this is what I've used in so many of my marketing, my business. I say this to people. If we could leave a negotiation where you feel that you got the upper hand or it's okay, and I feel like I got the upper hand or it's kind of level, that's a great negotiation. That's a great deal. If you leave here feeling you didn't get your money's worth at an event, or if I leave here feeling like I didn't get my money's worth for an event, that's a problem. Same thing in a negotiation and a contract. If I feel like I'm getting beat over my head, then I'm going to feel like I don't want this contract. Shouldn't have your fans needing to worry about whether or not they need to take out a second mortgage to go to an event. Sorry, you shouldn't.
And what's frustrating is that it seems like it's like just the reference of you said of, the joke of like take out a loan for it. It seems that it's not just WrestleMania that you got to do that for.
Oh, it's credit cards too.
Saturday night's main event and these other PLEs, and you're like, these used to be $500 to get you front row. Now it's get you in the building.
Yes, people with 750, 800 credit scores are putting fucking $400,000, $500,000 on credit cards to live and attend things.
800 credit scores, Andrew, because that's what I know you got. Blake is killing you in the comments, dog.
Blake is unhinged.
Oh man, I love Blake.
I had a great time with Blake in Dallas for All In last year. Just to keep that.
Oh man,
he's
no. I just love this nuanced conversation, but no, because this parlays into something that see this you sort of mentioned it, but since we're on the topic of Mania. I know you guys saw the story about it. Cue the Frog, Andrew, is something you talked about. The upset internal
graphics
on the graphic situation. Yeah, they're internally upset. That's what I'm trying to say. They're internally upset about the graphics. They have this Vegas theme, and then this. Oh, here we go. We're about to get the Frog. They have this Vegas theme, and then we have this kind of post-apocalyptic Vegas. One's blue, one's orange.
Yeah, they don't seem to be landing on a theme, and it's kind of frustrating knowing that in years past they've been like, we're doing this theme, this is what we're doing, and they stick with it the whole time. The more you do back to back in the same venue, same city, the more you have to figure out how to differentiate it from the year prior.
And I don't mind that. Like, I don't mind them picking a post-apocalyptic theme or a future theme or whatever theme they want. But I've seen 3 different graphics for Roman and Punk. Which one is it? I'm lost. And you know what? Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's a graphic, whatever. You want to change it, but it's like, all right, we are 5 weeks away, and I saw them run this, and I was watching it with Jackson, and he was like, wow, it's pretty cool. And I thought to myself, wait a minute. WrestleMania is in Vegas. I saw the Statue of Liberty. Yes, I know there's a New York hotel. Okay. But the Statue of Liberty ain't in Vegas. Then I saw the Eiffel Tower and I thought to myself, yes, I know there's an Eiffel Tower in Vegas at the Paris, whatever. it's not in France. WrestleMania, it's not in France. And then I saw the monorail or the train, and I was like, all right, okay. And then somebody said it's post-apocalyptic, and I was like, all right, that makes a little bit more sense. But then I go and look, and the one that they put on the internet was a futuristic Vegas thing. And I thought to myself, what the hell are we doing here? What's going on?
And it's weird considering WWE is so normally consistent and polished and ready to go with their graphics. And it seems like they're just uncertain with what to do, which is very unlike them.
I think this
they normally they just lean into whatever they do and they stand by it.
It's a bigger kind of tell. I play a lot of poker. Well, not a lot. I play some poker. And I look at it.
See people in Vegas.
He's
about to have 10 grand to spend on a wrestling show.
And people have tells, people will, and I'm looking and seeing these tells that WWE has. They're reducing tickets prices. They're internally upset about graphical direction. Does this lead any sort of credence to be worried about WrestleMania?
I think that what I would say is the graphics are one thing. You could change whatever graphics you want. Maybe they're going to do some post-apocalyptic theme for the stage. I have a funny feeling the stage is probably going to be a bunch of LED boards like they normally are. They had some unique characteristics last year. I was fortunate enough to be on the stage for both nights. And I will say that I could see them doing a post-apocalyptic theme night one, and then night two is futuristic, whatever. I get Tron or whatever the hell because
there was the video game Fallout Vegas,
Yeah.
So
okay. Well, again, I'm not hip on that type of stuff. So whatever it is, cool.
Well, you're not hip on a lot.
Right. What I will say is that the ticket sales are going to lead to scrambling creative wise, because they got to figure out. And, I think it was Brian Alvarez who said, people just don't know what they're buying, and in terms of ticket wise. And it's not wrong. Brian's not wrong there. But what a lot of these media people forget is that WrestleMania used to sell 40, 50, 60,000 seats without a match being announced.
When it was one night.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, right. And we don't know where it's going. We have no idea where any of this stuff is going. And now, we have a better idea that Cody and Randy is going to be night one, and Roman and Punk is going to be night two.
That's the thing. They seem to go all the way up to the very, very week before to say what nights all these matches are. And wouldn't you think it would be better for them to put it out a little earlier if possible, so that maybe
they want that
if someone wants to see Cody, you go at night one to see Cody.
That's but if I don't know and I need to make this purchase now, let me just go ahead and buy night one and night two.
Yeah, but that's what they think, but it's not going to work that way. Yeah, it's because I would much rather. To me, I would go night two. You're getting Punk Roman, and that's all you can sell it on. But if you want to see Cody, you probably got to do night one.
And I will tell you that it's very smart of them to have Cody and Roman on opposite nights, because now it's like, man, I want to see Cody and I want to see Roman, so I got to go to both. So that's smart.
It's just like the house show A and B towns.
Right.
You do that.
You got Hogan or you got Macho or you got whatever. Right. But I think all things put into the equation here. I went to WrestleMania both nights last year, and it was solid. It was very easy too. They've really changed it to where it's 3:45 and then they're out. There were WrestleMania 38 in Dallas. Saturday night we went, and it was like 5 hours, and then Sunday you went, it was another 5 hours, and I thought to myself, it's just, and I know it's just an hour and 15 minutes each night, Drew. It was exhausting. So they've done a good job of changing it. And even like this year, I told you, Jordan, we could sit by the pool at Circa if they allow it and watch Saturday night, and we can go Sunday or whatever we want to do. But it's a lot to have people commit, not only financially, but time-wise, to go to both nights. It's really, it's the truth. And I get why they are not allowing the viewing parties, because it's eating into their pocket, because people are like, I'll just watch it on a television screen and then I'll go to the other night. I get it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Because we got about 15 minutes, let's do our AEW Revolution preview and predictions here. I want to talk about this quickly as well. Do you both think that the stipulation here for the Texas death match is something you would have continued, or should they have just
I thought you were going to say stupid. Yes.
No, would you? Now, I've heard some other things where, there's different ways to get around this. I don't think AEW is going to do that. Now, I don't think the stipulation is that Hangman Page can never challenge for the world title as long as MJF is the champion. It's forever. Doesn't matter who the champion is, correct?
It's the Cody one, yes.
Yes.
That's why MJF referenced that in the promo.
So do we feel like at this point they should have continued with this, or you think they should have pulled off or done something?
They had a week in advance for them to be like, because MJF was like, I'll mull over it and we'll figure out what we want to do. Could have got out of it. But now that they're in it, I think it's fait accompli. Then Hangman Adam Page is walking out as world champion. And that's fine, but we know it. It's because I think it's more easy for me to see Hangman being champion and going through whatever the rest of this year dictates as champion than it is me to think Hangman's never going to even be in the conversation. Was he going to never challenge in the Owen Hart tournament again? He's not going to be in a casino. He's not going to be in any of these potential matches purely based off one match stipulation that he set for himself. I think he's going to win. They probably will find another way around it, whether it's someone costing MJF and setting up that feud. But, where they go from there, I don't know. But
I think that the only way that they get themselves out of this, and when I say out of this is making Hangman look good, is if Hangman were to lose, he would have to become the most dastardly evil heel possible. Like, he would have to attack Tony Khan type of deal, and
to force his way back in, and
force his way back into the picture. Tony Khan's not ever going to be a on-screen character. I don't think he should be. That's the one and only way I could see them getting out of that.
So AEW normally doesn't do this like bait and switch shit. They normally don't do the dusty finishes. They normally don't do any of this stuff where it's like, well, there's a little loophole. I don't see that being the case. I do think it's very interesting, and I will mention this on the Tony Khan media call, which is set to happen in about 13 minutes from now. I'll be covering it as well. We'll be off the air by then. MJF and Hangman Page opened AEW Revolution in 2025, and now they are set to close in 2026. I want to know if there was any sort of plan, or this just happened to come together by happenstance, because as much as you all know this by now, Tony Khan is a wrestling encyclopedia. And I wonder if this was something that maybe he planned, and we'll have to wait and see. Let's start with the Tornadoes Trios match, which I actually like this Trios match. One of them. It is the Dogs versus Roderick Strong, Orange Cassidy, and Darby Allin. Now, I said on Dynamite, I think the Dogs, Gabe Kidd and Finley, they got to win in a tag match. Should continue the momentum here, because I believe they should be, no pun intended, primetime players in the tag team division. The Trios, I don't need to see them with Trios gold, but I would like to see Gabe Kidd and Finley as tag team champions. Or Finley's going to go off in a singles run. Great. Don't hate it. Give the tag team titles to Kidd. And who's the other guy? Drawing a blank on his name.
Clark Connors.
Clark Connors. There it is. So, I mean, that would be fine by me, but I still think you need to keep the Dogs strong here. I think you need to keep the Dogs strong. So I'm going to go with them, even though all wrestling logic points to Darby, Strong, and Cassidy getting the win tomorrow.
Well, I'm gonna say that they do get the win, and that you keep the Dogs strong by some way. Like, you can have them look strong in this match and not get the win, and I think that's a line you would like to toe and balance on to make sure you can advance to whether it's a tag title thing or if David Finley is going to get a singles run. You want to make sure everybody kind of is still slotted in a good spot as we move forward. Because as we always say on this show and all shows we're all featured on, there's always a next week. There's a next show. You got to be ready for that. So I'd take the baby faces, the good guys in this one.
I got because Wrestling Logic, since they got the win last night, I got the baby faces taking the win on Sunday. But I would like to see some sort of an attack after the match. Let's keep the Dogs strong, especially David Finley. David Finley's got some momentum right now. He's in the news. His father's, kind of responded to him. So let's keep this momentum that Finley has coming in. So if he is going to lose, let's keep the Dogs strong.
All right. There you go. Keep the Dogs strong. Let's talk about Willow Nightingale and Lena Cross in a TBS championship match. I'm going to go with Willow. I think if Willow's going to drop the championship, this is no offense to Lena, but I would like to see it to pass a lot of equity to somebody who's kind of like teetering on that, gaining equity. And I just don't know if Lena's there. She hasn't had enough television time, in my opinion, at main event or main, I should say, story points. So give me Willow, holds on to the TBS championship. And realistically, I mean, she beat Monet for that, you know. So keep that in mind.
I think this match is placed on the 0 hour perfectly because this match will bleed into what I think will be the opening matches, which will be the tag match, the women's tag team title match. Yes, I think that'll open the show. I think that this will be the last match on the 0 hour where we'll see Willow win.
Not a bad call.
I think that Willow will win, beat Cross. They'll already come out. We'll have Megan Bain come out. We'll have Harley Cameron come out. They'll do the tag match. I'll do.
Not a bad call, Jordan. I actually like it because you're having two people do double duty anyway, so you might as well just keep them out there and throw their tag team partners out there and have the tag team title match. And I think that Willow and the Babes of Wrath will drop the tag team championships.
Yeah, and I think this so therefore, if they are, in which all kind of signs leading to them, and to get my prediction, I got the Mega Bad winning. So therefore, I got Willow retaining here against Lena.
I agree with both of those. We kind of knocked both of those out too as well. Juice, I'll go to you real quick. Go ahead.
I have the same thing, especially if it's kind of back to back. However they want to do that. If they want to open the show with that, I think that's a good call. And to Drew's point of where's Megan Bain? Well, she's about to be the tag champion, so you'll see a lot more of her in the future.
Which is great. I like that. I just feel bad for Harley Cameron because I think Harley has been fantastic. So
I think there's room for her still. She's a great character.
Sure. Let's talk about a ton of room for both of these gentlemen who I think should be focal points of not only AEW, but any wrestling promotions. Bandito and Andrade El Idolo. I'm looking forward to this match. I think this match has a lot of potential. I know people throw it around, but I think they could absolutely steal the show. I'm going to go with Andrade. I think Andrade's had a lot of stock and equity built for him in terms of some of the wins he's seen in the past 60 days. And I think you keep that momentum and continue to have him in the main event picture as a single star. So I'll go with Andrade. We'll go to Juice, then Jordan, and then we'll run through the rest quickly. Go ahead.
I'd like to see Andrade win, so I think he will. And I don't think it's necessarily going to do much to take away from Bandito's stock. So I'd like to look, we talk about this all the time, like with Fletcher and Speedball. I could see a second match with these two, especially if it goes well. So give me Andrade to win, but I don't think it's over between these two men.
We will definitely see a second match because Andrade will win via mask pull. He will pull his mask to win, which we all know.
I like that.
Yeah,
it's a no-no.
Yeah. So, because I think if you ask me, I think this is all leading up to a showdown in CMLL, but we don't have time.
All right. Let's talk about everyone banned from ringside. Tony Storm and Marina Shafir. I'm going to go with Tony Storm. I think Tony needs an upward trajectory here. Kind of been, floating as I believe kind of in that like no man's land or no woman's land for me. And for me, I think Tony is a focal point and somebody who should be consistently at the top of the top in the women's division, just because I think she's the absolute most marketable character that AEW has, truthfully, in not only the women, but the men as well. So I'm going to go with Tony Storm.
And to those points, that's exactly why I think Marina Shafir should win, because Tony Storm will be just fine regardless of result. And I think Marina Shafir would be benefited greatly with a singles match win on pay-per-view against one of AEW's, if not their top women's star.
Then give Marina Shafir a TBS championship opportunity very shortly after.
Let's do it.
We had the Hollywood ending that ended Mariah May. I think it's more apropos in Los Angeles. I think Marina Shafir kills Tony Storm, this character, and I think this is an opportunity.
What is she coming back with?
She can come back as anything. I have full faith in Tony Storm.
Tony Storm is a genius woman and a even better wrestler.
Who?
She can, and Tony Storm. She can come back with something else, but I think this would be a great opportunity to, one, elevate Marina Shafir into that TBS stratosphere, and two, it would give Tony, because the timeless character is great, but I think we need a new wrench in the system, and I think her being in LA, the character, it's a great time to do it. So I got Marina Shafir.
All right, Marina Shafir. All right. Swerve Strickland and Brody King. Seems like we're just getting a straight up singles match, which is fine. I'm going to go with Brody losing to Swerve. I think Kenny will get involved and save Brody from getting completely choked out. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm going to go with Swerve here. Let's be quick. Juice?
Swerve will win. Brody will not take time off, and Kenny will save him.
Jordan.
Swerve's coming in. Kenny hopefully for the save.
All right. Let's go to Moxley and Takeshita in a no time limit AEW Continental Championship match. Takeshita, give me it. Just give me it. Get the Continental Championship off of Moxley.
I got Takeshita. Someone asked me earlier what I think of him joining the Death Riders. I think it's a dumb idea.
Oh no!
I think Takeshita should leave Don Callis family and be on his own as a great solo wrestler, kind of like a Will Ospreay, where he's friends with some people, but he's not affiliated with anybody really.
Give me Takeshita and Okada, Double or Nothing. Build towards that. I'm here for it.
Good Lord, cooking with gas.
Let's talk about Don Callis family. We have Kazuchika Okada, Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Davis taking on Mystico and Jet Speed. I already have my thoughts and feelings on this, so I'm going to absolve myself here.
Drew took this match and threw it in the trash. I think the Don Callis family will be victorious in this, and I do think it will set up future matches for Dynasty in Vancouver. Unfortunately, I wish it was in Philly because then I could have gone. But
nobody gives a shit about the ending of this match. So I'm going to ask: does Jet Speed finally break up?
Yes, I think
that would make me eat my words. 100%.
Only if Kevin Knight's got to be the heel, then, right?
I don't know if you want to do.
I think Speedball does some pretty good heel work.
That's what I'm saying. So Kevin Knight's going to be the guy to turn heel.
It doesn't matter who you turn heel. I think.
What is he going to be? Cobra Kai?
Well, to Drew's great point last night, Speedball should be handing out his karate band to all the kids, so he should be a babyface.
Speedball hangs his hat on being, I'm the best TV wrestler. I've taken Okada, I've taken Kyle Fletcher to their limits.
Jordan, I love you, but are we watching the same programming? Speedball just handed it.
Like no, but he can be that delusional heel.
All right,
you're giving him more credit than I think you are. That's fine. Yeah, Kevin Knight. You just said Swerve was talking to Kevin Knight. You don't think there's some heel tendencies coming from Kevin Knight, whether he's with Swerve or not? I think it's Kevin Knight.
No, I think there is, but personally, and me and you can talk about this privately because Andrew and I have, but I think it's low-hanging fruit putting two black guys together.
That's all we got for you folks. See you later.
I hear you. You know,
I said that to Jordan. I don't think this is like the 90s where like
you don't need to do it. Like Kevin Knight doesn't need to be with Swerve because they're both.
Well, he doesn't need to be with Swerve, but he can take tutelage of a guy who's doing whatever to get to the top, heel or face, because Swerve isn't a heel in my opinion. And then Kevin Knight can have the same type of trajectory.
We don't have time because Andrew's got to go.
All right, so hold on. Who do you feel? You feel that Speedball will be the better heel, Jordan?
I feel like Speedball because it would. First, we see this Kevin Knight heel turn. So a turn is supposed to be a shock, something that you don't see coming.
You're right. Speedball would be a shock, but
who works better as a heel? I don't care about the shock factor right now.
Thank you.
I think who works better would be the karate guy saying that I took Okada to the limits. The guy who's walking around barefoot who says, give me a match with Kyle Fletcher. I can beat him. Yeah, that works.
All right. You know? Tekla and Chris Statlander, 2 out of 3 falls for the AEW Women's World Championship. I thought this might have opened the show, but I'm going to go with Jordan's original prediction because I think that's a smart way to do it. But I do think this 2 out of 3 falls match will be somewhere, maybe sandwiched in the middle because it's going to be a decent one in terms of time. I'm going to go with Tekla. I think Stat deserves another, tip top main event level type feud. But maybe she goes after the TBS title against Willow. I don't know. I like Stat's work, but I think Tekla is very much on the rise and continues to be everything you'd want her to be since coming over, and she's your world champion. So I'm going to say Tekla here. Juice quickly, and then we'll go to Jordan.
I think Tekla for sure. I think she's on a rise since becoming champion, and I'd like to see that momentum go and see what other competitors we can have go against her in the coming months.
There you go, Jordan.
I would like to see something that hasn't ever been done in 2 out of 3 falls, and I'd like to see dominance. I would like to see Tekla get both 2 back-to-back pins, and let's send Chris Statlander kind of on a self-finding journey. I don't know, but I got Tekla winning.
All right, let's talk about the tag team title match. FTR taking on the Bucks. Who do you got and why, Juice?
Oh boy, this is an interesting one. I feel like we all know that it could be leading to an FTR Cage and Cope thing. So I'm going to take FTR to win, even though I'm a loyal Young Bucks guy for the longest time, and I would love to see them win. But I think it's FTR's time, and I think Cope and Cage, whether they make a save or what have you, I'm looking forward to this match. Look, everybody's kind of bitching about, we've seen this match 1,000 times. Okay, I want to see it 1,000 more. So give me FTR in a solid tag match.
I would like to see Cope and Christian come in and take out both teams and say,
Wouldn't hate that because it's kind of ambiguous on where they lean.
Like, no, we are the greatest tag team ever. So if there's going to be, I would like to say ultimately a no contest. I want a no contest.
Ooh.
Cope and Christian come in, lay out both teams, and therefore
AEW doesn't do that.
I don't hate it. I could see FTR dropping the titles because of Copeland and Christian, and then we get the three-way wherever we get the three-way.
But go ahead. I think it's better to get the three-way than have FTR having the belts into the three-way, because then that keeps the Bucks babyface. That we don't have to worry about the Bucks having the titles and then potentially dropping them just to drop in the Cope and Christian. That extends the FTR reign. So
FTR should retain it regardless, I feel.
All right.
Yeah, so let's
talk about the main event, because I got to run to this press conference.
I've got Hangman.
All right, there you go. I'm going to go with Hangman as well. I don't want to see him out of the picture.
I also have Hangman, and before you go to this presser, Drew, quick 5-second thoughts on last night's press conference.
It sucked.
I was waiting. I was like, I know you didn't.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Hangman.
Not
Hangman
for you.
All right, boys. Appreciate it. We'll catch you guys and girls next week. Sorry for the quick out, but we got to go. I got to go ask some questions. We'll catch you guys and girls next week.